Hey guys, I pray you're having an amazing day and I pray that the Lord is blessing you, He's keeping you, and He is bringing you to another level of glory. So this is just a quick word really. Um, it's really about standing out and being a light wherever you are. You know, there's a Bible verse that really stands out to me. It says, how can you fellowship with darkness who are light? I'm paraphrasing slightly here, okay? I will put everything in the bio, yeah? But light and darkness cannot fellowship. And it says, there's a significant verse actually, I think the one I'm actually looking for. Even as your Father is light, walk in the light. So simple. We don't, I think, know what actually light means. Light is not just about reading the Word of God, going and fellowshipping, doing Sunday as usual. Light actually looks at us actually living the Word. Or, if I put it in another way, light is actually the willingness to stand out and not follow the crowd. So, even in Christianity, you have so many Christians that go to church, they follow the norms, they do the same old routines, and it's so much about fitting in and being part of a family, quote unquote, which is not a bad thing, but it should not be the end all or be all, as opposed to actually standing up and saying, hey, this is actually what the Word of God says. And when they see an issue, to be able to address it in love in order to bring about a correction with love in the Word of God, which would bring about light and break darkness. What I find though is a lot of times Christians love to compromise because they love popularity or they love to, and it's not just Christians, but I'm just taking it from that standpoint because I really believe the Lord has been speaking to me about conviction and light lately, and I'll come to all of that soon. But what I'm saying is this: we are called to be lights. We're not called to fit in. We're not called to sit and just accept stuff. We're called to live the Word of God. That partially also means that when we see something's wrong, we are willing to correct in love. God does it with us. We should be able to do it with each other. There's nothing wrong with correcting in love. That means you're not there, you don't seek to condemn, you seek to just speak the truth. And God will give you the wisdom on how to speak the truth, when to speak the truth, and how far to go with it. Sometimes people will listen and sometimes they won't, but at least you're doing your part. And you know what it also does to you when you live in the light? It actually conditions your spirit. It actually continues to keep you convicted. Did you know that it's not just the ones that we see doing wrong that are being affected, that actually when we tolerate wrong, we ourselves are being affected. And actually we're becoming more and more dampened every day. That's a very significant point. That you would think it's just affecting the one doing it, but it's actually affecting you too because you're actually tolerating it and your spirit is becoming less and less convicted at the very thing it's seen because you refuse to actually say, you know what, my dear, my bro, my sis, listen, I love you, but what you're doing is wrong. You need to stop, you need to take some chill pill, you need to reassess yourself, let's do this thing together. You know, no one's talking about condemnation. We're talking about simply standing up in love and saying, hey, let's make a difference. Look, this thing you're doing is wrong. Let's seek help for this. Let's sit down. Let's work through this together. A lot of Christians these days will just say, "Oh, if I say that to sister or brother so and so, they're gonna blow at me. Or who am I? I'm just a guy. I'm just a person in this church. I'm just trying to fit. I'm just trying to get on my life. It's not my business." But the more you don't make it your business, the more you're being affected too, and the less conviction you're also allowing into your own spirit. It's a two-way sword. There's no win. And so my exaltation to everyone out there is don't be afraid to stand out. And this is a universal message. Whether you're Christian or not, or maybe and I say this with balance, because obviously part of this channel, Eden Beauty, is also to teach you about the love of God. So my prayer for you is you would know the love of God for yourself, you'd know Jesus Christ for yourself. But even for those who are yet to be Christians or those who are not Christians, don't be afraid to stand out. You actually find that you'll find the truth more when you don't sit in, but you stand out. There's nothing wrong with standing out. Standing out causes you to be effective. for the cause, for the right cause. And usually you find those who stand out are always somehow veering towards the truth. Even if they started off wrong, somehow, because they know that they're there to make a difference, that they're there to make a change. We're not perfect. No one is perfect. Every one of us make mistakes. Trust me, we all have our shortcomings. But the worst thing is to sit down and to allow injustice, evil, sin to continue in your face when you know you have the power of love to convict and bring about a change. I'm not even saying that the person that you may be standing up to or for will change so quickly. It might take a year, it might take 2 years, but the continual tapping of love nuggets of, hey, let's get this sorted, let's change, let's do something, it will make a difference to the person's life. But also, more importantly, it's going to affect your life in the right way, because your spirit will forever be convicted. You know, I find one thing. Those who live in truth, when it comes to talking about the love of God, whether they go out on the streets, whether they go wherever they go, they actually find the spirit of conviction is so working in their lives, they don't have to say much. The unbeliever will actually start talking about Jesus or a form of religion or something to do with religion without them having to try much, because the spirit of conviction is working for them, because they continue to keep themselves pure. You know, another topic I'm going to talk about is Jezebel, but that's going to be another day's video. The power or the ruler, so much of influence in the book of Revelation talks about the spirit of Jezebel, about how it influences our system, our minds, our media, you name it. But like I said, it's another day's message. But you see, when we are influenced by such vanity, because that's what the spirit is all about, it's about vanity and all of that stuff, you find that the more you entertain it, the more your life is actually going down the toilet, and the less conviction is actually in you. Because it's like darkness is even entering and you're not even realizing. But like I said, that's another day's message. But today the focus is, don't be afraid to stand out. Whether you are in church, whether you are at work, whether you are, you know, on the road, whatever it is, don't be afraid to stand out. Stand out and say it proud. Literally, just be like, listen, I'm not going to stand for injustice. In love, obviously, not in a vulgar, proud way to make another person feel inferior, but you do it with love. And I'm very sure that the spirit of conviction, as much as it's working in you, will work for that person as well. Like I said, I don't know if I finished the story quickly, but I find that, as I was saying, since I do this kind of veering and coming back to the topic, but you guys get the gist, I apologize. But as I was saying, that those who walk in truth, especially when it comes to things like evangelism, speaking about the love of God to somebody else, they don't have to try too hard, because the person themselves, I believe I have said it, but I'll say it again anyway, or I'm saying it again, the person themselves just start speaking about religion or knowing God in a personal way, something, and all you have to do is make reference back to the Bible. But when we are caught up ourselves in hypocrisy, in lies, in tolerating sin, you find that these things are harder because we ourselves are not living in the light. So I just want to also, this message is really to say, let's also watch out for our souls. Our souls are supposed to be full of light. Remember, part of beauty is it's actually from within. Beauty starts from within. It doesn't start from outside. If you are beautiful outside, it's because usually, and I'm talking about natural, we're talking about natural beauty here. Beauty starts from within. If your soul is right, it will also shine on your face without you having to try so hard. It will, because your soul is full of light, so the whole body will also be full of light. Your mind is full of light, so your whole body will be full of light. Your mind and your soul are the same thing. Okay, so I just wanted to say that to say, guys, let's not be afraid to stand out. Look, the world needs love. The world needs light. We are the light to the world. Let's not turn our lights off to fit in. Trust me, your comfortability with being popular or being accepted is not more important than standing for truth. You will find in truth that the right people will attract to you, and you will have a life worth living. You will stand and you will impact for the right reasons, not just because of vanity or for your own self-comfort, but because you love and you genuinely want to see a change in the society. There's a lot of things going on in society that people are actually taking a good stand, of course, for. Whether it's child molestation, to stop it, whether it's women, the injustice of women, whether it's babies being aborted, for those who do see the issue in that, because there is an issue in that. You're actually killing people, but we can talk about those topics later. There's so many things that people are genuinely globally standing for, which is making a difference. So, and I'm saying this from a believer standpoint now. As a believer, what's so hard for you to stand out and make a difference in love? God has given you power. Let's use this and let's make this count. Let's make this life worth living. Otherwise, what's the point of living? Do you just work and get popularity only to end your life and say, well, that's it? Trust me, there's so much more in life to stand out for. So let's begin that change now. That's just a message to encourage you guys out there, yeah? God bless you guys. Keep living, keep soldiering, and keep standing for what is truth. God bless you. Bye.